have to do it with this pistol round on the T side.
And the speed doesn't stop. Quickly, right in their face. Blame at, they shut it right down. xantatic. They tried changing the pace, but before we can even talk about it, it's just done. CT side off to a killer start for Astralis.
That one didn't even look that comfortable either, right? I felt like xantatic were getting some good foothold, some good ground there. They could have even just sidelined Flame F with the dualies, but instead, Flame F turning this corner, 2 instant kills. Look at the feed. I mean,
you want him to be as comfortable as possible.
No question about it. Off to a hot start so far. Blame F taking a lot of initiative. Already moving up towards middle. A lot of damage done, I believe, from an HE onto Queenix and Cabby. So that's not a fun way to kick off this round. They've got to be positioning himself in the cave position as well, with a chance on a Manx. The flashbang just comes through. Perfectly placed, but Manx, somehow that was a headshot?
Sure. You ain't never seen the Vu video? Talking about stop aiming at heads?
No kidding.
It was on Astralis. Well, taste of their own medicine as Cabby gets another headshot on the board for the likes of xantatic. Now they need a little more going back if Astralis want to convert on this round. But xantatic are slowing down the pace. They don't make any quick, very fast movements. Instead, just wait to see what Astralis do as a reaction, because you kind of have to do something. And here it is. Spotted 2 in middle. Mister's just going to try to get out of dodge before he gets flying from catwalk. Device still crunching in, though. Bomb can be dropped. And even though he stinked, he's giving them back a 2-on-2.
He's gotten out of dodge as well for now. Utility could be scary. They're just going to dive up, but he has support. Mister has come through in time, and now he needs to find the last 2. They're not expecting him to be here. And Mister, again, fresh off the back of an incredible Mirage, closes out clutch, a 3K to close out that round. I mean, that's just beautiful work being done from him.
Already a beautiful start, too, with some good nade damage shipped off of Kragen's belt. Let's continue to blister in a little bit of pepper damage, but finally a kill. I mean, look, man, I don't think that's an equivalent trade. I'm going to be real. That's like a Tech 9 for an M4.
And not all that bad at all. Worthy for a sacrifice there, and they're going to move in towards this E-bomb site, but it's shut down relatively quickly. Device to claim the last kill there, and
surprising if you ask me, but Mister finally going to come back in and regroup with his comrade, Cabby. Makes some noise, throws in a couple of footsteps towards the back lanes, but nobody wants to commit to the first gunfight, and finally when it happens, the man who commits loses. All up to Salazar. He had a potential moment towards the ending parts of the T side on Mirage. Have to get another opportunity here. Mister, again, he's cleared out all this extra avenue. You know he's got to be towards the ramp side. Nade dunk gives away the element of anonymity. Maybe just thinks it's a tap. Shadow shown, but he gets off the bomb. Not enough time. Salazar, advantage with the angle on the peak. Right eye peaks favor the bold, and xantatic take their first round with it.
That's a great clutch from Salazar. Again, the new face here to xantatic. Doing excellent work right there. And this handshake battle towards the middle works out wonderfully for them. For costly, Astralis actually forced into an eco here.
I mean, yeah, some of these rounds, while they were able to close them out in convincing ways, well, not convincing ways, but while they were able to close them out, wasn't as convincing as you would have hoped. So I do like them taking the save here, but again, we've seen them work with these Deagles before. I'm not going to say it's winnable, but it's certainly capable of doing damage.
They've already won so many ecos, maybe with a little bit more teeth to them. This purchase isn't that incredible, but Queenix, that's a stunning little spam. Perfectly placed. But I think their success on these rounds have come more in the form of like buying up 5.7s, D-Eagles, Scouts, all that, as opposed to this one, where they have very little, you know, just 2 D-Eagles that are constantly being tossed into players' hands as they continue to drop like flies. Flame F added to the tally there. Makes looking sharp here. This is a map that he's super comfortable on. All of xantatic. Back when they were underneath the banner, when they were playing with the likes of Bird from Sky and the rest of that roster. This was a good map there. Oh, unfortunate disconnect there. But I think that shouldn't be too costly.
Nah, it's just a symbol of faith. It's not live. There could have been better ways of, you know, doing it, but sure. And arguably, xantatic probably could have done a bit more if they had a little more time. There was some questionable force buys thrown out towards the end that I'd hinted on. It's like, That's not really happening here. xantares are playing a lot more disciplined, a lot more smart to these approaches to some of these rounds. Astralis doesn't seem like the veterancy is just winning them these rounds in these games. Like, they have to legitimately give respect to xantares.
Gotta give some respect here to xantares as well. Mr. tested here. He holds down the line. He's good for 2, and he stays alive. He gets out of dodge even. Mr. offering up another excellent defense of this B bomb site, but it still isn't enough to keep them at bay. It's still a post plant that they have to deal up against. In a 4v3, they do have the man advantage, but Cabby's taking a lot of space here. He has claimed the entirety of that long side position, and that could be everything here, especially as Salazar finds success with the op.
But you know where 2 of them are, you know, one of them's got to be in the back lanes, but the only one that was unknown was the man in the middle of the site. Now you can pretty much solidify where both of the remaining players are. This Mike is still coming through. Op doesn't land that one. It's all up to Cabby. It's not planted for him either. He's not even being quiet about this one. Loud as ever, but Xipnix doesn't have it yet. Almost falls his blame after. The only one left to try to defend the diffuser in Xipnix, but...
Taking place right now for them, but... still a tough task ahead. Salazar lining up a little bit of utility for the rest of his team to move out quickly towards middle.
Well, this time, Astralis are playing it a bit more loose. We've seen they're not scared to throw a couple of bodies at the problem in mid, to contend for it and take these gunfights, but just mixing it up a little bit now, because xantares, I feel like a lot of their approach has been towards this B ramp area, so maybe it's more about saving util. I'm not too sure, because they haven't really taken anything right now. In fact, xantares are given a lot of freedom on the map.
Xipnix just jump spotting up the ramp. Did he spot up the opera? I believe he did, yeah. A risky play there, as if Salazar is able to turn the corner at the right time, he has free pickings on Xipnix, but instead, he's able to hold onto that smoke until a minute left on the clock. You see that Glaive still has a smoke that he can toss in as well to provide extra coverage. The big concern here, though, is that they do have all the space in the world. They have free cave control, and they have a lot of space that they can claim up ramp.
Doesn't know. I don't know if Astralis is going to be able to contend with this, because they just don't have a lot of utility. It's going to be raw aim duels. It only wins the one, needing a little bit more from the assisters on B. Blamef delivers through. With Device behind him, this is an unstoppable force that you just can't go through. 6 rounds on the board, and that's for that extra lane of approach. But in doing so, Astralis, with the little utility, kind of bank on the fact that they don't want to take cave anymore, and instead stack up that right side, and it works.
Yeah, that's a good point there. They've been given a lot of space. A very wise decision from Astralis here off the back of what has been consistently granted to them. This time they take it back. Glaive, he has to retreat. And a great execution for that control from xantares. Making sure to claim priority of that cave control. Such an important map piece, but Blamef just walking in dry.
Oh,
Cabby, not going to let you get away with that for free.
all 5 players are towards B right now. This is another one of those questionable force buys I was hinting at in the previous game. They're starting to rear their heads back up into Ancient. And there's not really much Astralis could do to stop this, right? Like, if they went 5-man in, the only reliance they have to win this round is on the crossfire they got set up in Cave. And it's like, yeah, it's good, but is it going to be good to 2v5? I don't think so. That's why Astralis is starting to pull off this stack, but at the same time, this isn't a commitment from xantares. You've got Kragan fishing for what's going on over towards A, getting ready to walk up in tons. So if they have Mr. rotate back out, this round is just lost.
It could be a very quick adjustment here into Mr.'s crosshairs. And yeah, look at that. With the amount of space that Kragan is taking right now, it is going to queue up everyone to rotate in. Now, there's a fast flank activating here, but Navi looking to contain. And Mr. looking to shock another round here. He gets his utility out, though, and that's a big problem now. He does get chased in. And that is likely going to seal this one. A save coming through from Device and Glaive. I don't know if they really have any business trying their luck in this round here. Desperately trying to land some spam. If he could have denied the bomb plant, that was a big hope, but I think there's a box. Yeah, there it is. That would have cut off his line, and now he's not going to be able to hold on to his weapon.
That's always the worry, right? In those 5-on-4s, when you don't take map control, when you give them so much space to work with, it's like, there's not really much hope for you to come back into the round, considering how retake heavy and util heavy this map can be when you lose a site on the CT side. You're already at such that I feel like Ancient is weird, where a 5-on-4 is so much more disadvantageous on Ancient, like for CTs. Because the rotates are so long, they're so committed. It's like if you guess wrong, you're kind of screwed. And the sites are so hard to get back into sometimes because you're not really favored in many of the angles. So, about the ecos earlier and how Astralis were the best at them when they had a little bit more bite to it. Well, they do now, and Glaive snuck through the smoke in cave, even trying to come back in for a freebie pick, but Abby's too smart and too well aware of the situation to let that go undetected. And the AWP, the biggest weapon of the buy, isn't even on the right side of the map to contend. In fact, Blame, the only other one with a rifle, is just left. They're giving this up. Astralis are going to give him a fourth.
And the way that they take cave control on a static there, that's just the same exact little set piece play that they did just the last round, and it works out with the same level of success right there. One molly to flush out Glaive from his position. In this case, Cabby once again covering that flank, making sure that there's no trickery, there's no diving through the smoke, there's no hope for a defense, there's no cohesion that can come through from Astralis with that set piece that a static are throwing. And I think eventually, if you want to hold on to that cave control, if you want to take that forward approach, Glaive is going to need some semblance of support, some help. He can't keep isolating himself in that position and then conceding what is such critical map control. Either that or they just have to decide, to give it up and take a more passive approach and divert the resources elsewhere.
Right, and the big kicker of this entire CT side so far for Astralis has literally been all formulated around cave control. And what they do there determines the round.
But success in rounds prior, this time he's watching from the sidelines. And what is another awkward purchase? But as I say that, they immediately start to replace numbers and names in this position here. Blame F gets caught off guard, and now they can quickly close the distance into this B bomb site. Zipic's the same fate for him, and Glaive only has USP.
Yeah, Device is not going anywhere near this. He's not touching this retake with a 10-foot pole. It's off, bro. That's another thing that XXXTATIC have actually kind of, I don't know if it's been duly noted, if it's like some counterplay or whatever, but XXXTATIC have not run into this off once. At least in these rounds they're converting, they're not going anywhere near the off. They're figuring out where Device is, or they're sussing it out in some way, shape, or form just to simply avoid him. Because again, these retakes, these rotates, they're so committed that for a player like Device, when you want to save this off, because you almost can never rebuy it with the CT money, it's not surprising. It's like you pretty much guess and check. You put yourself in a spot where you could have impact, but if you're in this disadvantage and you're trying to go for a retake, he's just not going to go. Like, it's not going to win.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, but now I don't know if he's going to be able to save that up here. He's dancing in the flames, and he will go down south. You remember how good those Bird from Sky T-side calling on this map was. I mean, this was a map that XXXTATIC used to build their foundations on.
Yeah, again, this has always been the XXXTATIC map. Under any banner, under any team, it's always been this map. So, that's why I was saying coming in, it's like, it's not surprising to see them put up a result like this. Device through the smoke, though, finally grants a little bit of good news back the way of Astralis. Cabby wants to catch him on the reload, but it's all a bait and switch. Flame F on the double, and now it looks like Astralis are back to winning ways, at least for one more, right? Regardless of what you do in the remaining parts of this half, I don't think it changes the fact that you've given up 17 rounds. Like, this is already a remarkably strong half from XXXTATIC.
Yeah, even if you walk away with only 7 here, like you said, it's definitely remarkable what they're able to grab. That's...
Why not? Well, in hindsight, probably wasn't the play, but they still actually not gotten too many kills for Astralis. Now it starts to get settled down, but Device is only good for the 2. Zipnix is the real hero here for Astralis as he's put this one to rest. And Queenix, again, faces an unwinnable task with the bomb dropped in the opening. He's not going to be quiet about where he's going anymore. I think he understands this round's just done. Maybe try to get an extra bomb plant stat in there. Yeah, Zipnix will put this one to bed. 8-7, at least they come away with a lead, but damn was that a half from XXXTATIC, and I am hoping they're able to keep it like this in the second.
Yeah, here's where I think that composure is going to be a big deal, right? You're going up against a roster that has, players that you just have to look up, maybe even more in their wheelhouse here to wield on their T side. They're going to meet towards middle here. 3 players ready for the defense.
Oh, all right.
Just not a collateral?
Maybe? I couldn't tell you. Well, I don't know if it's a collateral or collateral damage, because right now you're losing players by the second, and xtatic cannot get a hold of this pistol round. Phoenix, the last man left, and Mr. Well, he wants to be the one to do in the final blow, but running out of health is going to make that a bit difficult.
If you're in the rotations, though, his teammate is very low on sight, so Xyp9x has to be careful about how he plays this one. Glaive does have to strike in time. Oh, he just almost slipped by up to land those doubles, but full mid stack here, empty B bomb site. This one is about as free as can be, and a chance for blamef to get some sweet ecos there as he just lines them all up. Only 2 to offer up there for him, but still, it's a nice stat pattern right there for blamef.
I mean, look, I'd need a new pair of pants after walking into a tag like that. I just peeked CT spawn into 5 of them. Bro, what were you, AFK the whole time? Ooh. He's not gonna keep the gun, I'll tell you that right now, but 2 kills in a full USP room, that ain't that bad.
Not bad at all. Definitely what you're hoping for there. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe you can land a magic number of 3, but definitely take a couple. That's for sure.
To some extent, if a lot of your game plan's relying on winning aim duels, you do get a little bit of a buff from the T side, obviously AKs and all. Now you're kind of working with those M4s, and the nerfed over A1S isn't going to be doing you any favors, so this is kind of where we got to see a little more of a tactical depth, and when you put tacticality into the mix, you probably favor Astralis tenfold.
100%. Question about that one, Mr. Debating if you should throw devices op out. Get that out of the hands potentially of some CTs right there. As he got absolutely leveled by Cabby, but an answer does come through from Mr. So device, he can rest easy knowing that what just happened to him could not happen to any of his teammates, at least at the hands of Cabby. But he does have to watch for the sidelines as the rest of his team does have to work through this 4v4. Deagle and armor on Kragan. That hero A4 coming through from Manx could offer up a whole lot of success, but they're going for a bit of a risk here with a hefty A-side stack. And Bomb is positioned at the bottom of that B ramp, so that kind of hints as to where Astralis looked to end.
And they're not being quiet about it either. But what can you really hope to do right now if you're xtatic with only 1 man on the defense, and it's only Salzer and his Desert Eagle? Yeah, I don't imagine much is going to be put up here. But you do see the rotations coming through. Maybe xtatic going to look for a couple of exit kills, make the buy in the next round a little bit cheaper. But honestly, I don't know if I like the fact that Manx is coming back in. This is definitely a warranted save, right? You keep this M4, you don't fall with it. You can probably drop an op to Salazar next round, where maybe he can buy one, but it'll be a lot better if you do it. Now you're taking an unnecessary risk, and there he goes. You know, there's 2 more players here, too. They're attempting this retake. They're giving it their all, man, and Kragan's gone nuts with the 5-7. The back of the bomb site upgrades to an AK, but 2 is all he'll get, and Astralis moved to 12.
Oh, if he's going to make their move up the ramp here, look at the blindside of him. There's not a lot of resistance that they have to face other than the utility.
I mean, they've already gotten into the site pretty much. There's still a man stuck in the back lane, but you just thought of the AWP Salazar. Lucky to be alive. Even though it's only against a Mac 10, I would have pictured it to win that aim duel. 3-on-4, though, and you have to a player too low. But, I mean, you keep losing men by the numbers and by the second, and you can't get a hold of this round. Flame
F. HG's going to do it.
Double entry. Nade barely won't finish him in, but on 1 HP, what does it matter? Barrel sticking out in the open. It's a free kill for blamef and almost a free round for Astralis, who just don't stop this momentum.
Was a thorn in their side in that round, creating so much beautiful chaos right now, but a run boost has passed the sight lines here and does excellent damage. Kragan, does he commit? Oh, zooming in device.
What
He finds the kill on the Salazar of all people. I can't believe it, but at least it is a kill. And he finds them on the follow-up there. He's just taking his sweet time with these ones.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. That was played perfectly by xtatic, but this round still isn't over. That's a gun to be picked up, and a big upgrade for Manx to potentially use on this B-side's defense. You can already see Astralis regrouping back in, but plans could change now that you know they have an extra AK to beef this up.
I think plans do have to change. You've kind of identified 2 players on that B-bomb site. but time bought enough here.
What?
That Astralis now have a flank perfectly timed from a device walking up towards the middle and claiming Cabby. Big frag there, and Queenix a little bit too distant from Mr. Will keep things nice and easy. Astralis at the turn of the half have dominated. I mean, all of the talk about this good half and the chance that Static have come the second half on the defensive side, it's getting nullified, as Astralis have just come out of the gates kicking on their T side with utter dominance.
Right, and it's even crazier for me to think that this was a stronger T side for xantares than it was on Mirage, yet the game is going to be more one-sided. That's nuts. I mean, again, it's not a surprise when you look at the series from a vague standpoint of, yeah, oh, Astralis with device versus xantares, right? But it's more so in the fact that xantares already did the hard work. Now it's just little issues, little problems that are plaguing this CT side. Trades, map control, space taken, retakes, post plants. Like, this has all been Astralis favored. Now they're hitting the site. They haven't really given much attention this entire game. Queenix, only line of defense, and he doesn't know that they've already crept behind him. This is going to be a free kill so long as he can distract for long enough. Well, he has the idea, and maybe he has to because of it. Once more, Queenix is ready to get back into this game. xantares are not going out like that.
Queenix has just maybe resuscitated a stack. It's still a long road for these guys. They still have so much to chew through, and they still have to close out this round. Nice flash there from the device. And Xyp9x to capitalize off of it. And I think at this point, if you're Astralis, you do want to find a couple of kills on your way out. Money isn't the best here for Static, so device and Xyp9x finding two or maybe 3 kills can further provide some concerns. And they are hovering around this bomb, sitting on top of it as much as they can. You do not want to give device a chance, though, to strike with the op. That Molly's actually going to flush Kragan out of position here. He has to dance, and right into the open arms of Xyp9x and device, he will go.
They got the bomb now, and problems might start to arise. You might want to stop them on their retreat or something, but there's, again, an open avenue. Look at who's going to come ready to meet them at the seams. It's Cabby. Opposite side of the B doors, and it seems like they're isolated. What is going on here? They're not going for this now? Did they just make a mad dash into tunnels with a kill and extra little tidbits just to not go for it?
A bit surprising there, but honestly, fair enough. I said they just needed to find a couple of kills here to make things close. I mean, if you look at the lead right now, you're saving 6,000 on device right now, and Xyp9x on 12 HP. He's just probably not going to have too much success unless they land some insane shots. That round just not going their way. But Queenix, if this isn't enough to inspire a little bit of confidence in this defense, then I don't really know what is. Yeah, so it's finally time that somebody started lighting up the feed in that category for xantares, but that needs to keep coming. That can't just be a flash in the pan. That can't just be a one and done. Astralis are going to run it back to what worked before. Mid control, they've pretty much dominated in this field over on the T side, so I can't really be all that surprised that they're trying to run it back. They don't actually extend out. Instead, just jiggle it a little bit, see if anybody's here, and leave Blamef to his own little curtain. Tucked into the corner. I'd imagine if they're going to go for a retake, this will be cleared. But right now, he's got rotations pretty well cut. It'd be a really interesting head-to-head right now. Salazar versus device, looking to lock in a little bit of control of this B side of things. Salazar does adjust his scope away from the ramp side and joining up with Manx in towards cave. Valuable reposition. And with 45 seconds, Static might just force their hand at this B side defense.
They might, especially with kills like that. There's only 2 here on the defense now. Again, these rotations are still cut. Blamef has never left, and that flash isn't going to be doing very much, considering it only blinded up the one. Device still there for the trade, and now it's all up to Salazar. AWP, and this is a very, very commonly cleared angle. No smoke for it, but a flash instead is one from sprinting through a smoke. It's been hurt, but it's not been dispatched of. Salazar, Craig, and they shut it down. Astralis inches away from pretty much guaranteed victory, and now it's in the clutches of defeat. Bomb dropped, and with no time left, xantares have earned 9. Still a very long road on the path to redemption. However, doable.
Wow. Yeah, that was an excellent recovery. Again, we got that heroics coming through from Kraken on this occasion. This is a nice entry from Zipic. Gabby following super device, offers up a trade as quick as can be, but here's that tide turner. Kraken versus such titans in your own scene. To go for something like that is, I'm sure, something Astralis wouldn't anticipate.
Well, already, Cabby is off to the races with the opening pick on Glaive. Instantly causes the transmission over into A, and Astralis lead this entire side of the map clear. They've done this a couple of times now where they'll show presence one spot, then just completely vacate as soon as things don't go their way. So xantares might just catch on to this.
They got the man advantage here. Even if they don't catch on to it, they're sitting very pretty. And they're 4v5, but good damage done through the smoke. Give it in turn as well. They're going to dive through this smoke. Not a bad idea. They need some heroic move. Kraken has coverage, though. He wisely anticipates this. And now he's set himself up in such a nasty off angle to deal with that. You're going to need some sharpshooting coming through from the duo here. Mr. and Blame F. And there's a trade, a very quick one at that. But, right back through the smoke, makes claims him.
Well, xantares holding on pretty damn well. Zipnix, does he expect this angle? He does. Ooh. Wow, good enough to get the kill too. So that's a free bomb plan out of this one. And they're not close enough to defend it. Missed off shot from Salazar throws things into chaos. Because they're still the open play. And they're still holding those pretty damn crucial angles. Zipnix rolling back the years with this round, knowing where both the remaining players are. He calms it over to Device and says, can you win it? One of his debuts back would be a huge clutch for this guy to pick up. Still planted for him as he taps the bomb. Device gives him no chance and rips the hearts out from xantares as they're trying to breathe. Now only one away from the finish and 6 chances to take us there.
Man, it's just so classic, isn't it? Device and Zipic in a 2v4. A difficult round. It feels so impossible. Look at the way that Device closes out these kills. But like you said, deal with him. That's a very wise play from Zipic. Again, it's what we know him for, being good in those late round scenarios, but that's just absolutely stunning from him. And look at this, Mr. taking so much initiative, looking to close out this game the same way he closed out Mirage with the MAC-10 in hand and opening picks.
What this guy's known for, man, it's what he does best. I think there'd be no other way to finish it without one. They're still keeping this slow. In fact, so slow that they're starting to be suspicious of what's going on. Cabby's currently the only B defender, and if he can find even one, that's big. But no, he gets to lead it, and now the chances drastically plummet. Rotation's already put in a bit of a weird spot, but somehow Salazar finds that kill. Again, things spin on their head as the bomb goes down, and it's going to be up to another 2-on-3. Zipnix, Glaive against the world to try to fend off and try to win the series. And Glaive's going to tuck inside of his smoke to try to be cheeky with it. As it fades, again, caution starts to go back the way of Astralis. 2-on-2, and now one is Zipnix's position. Spotted, very well noted. He's going to try to molly off the bomb.
No kit.
I don't think it's going to force him off in time. Again, you said he doesn't have a kit, but Zipnix still isn't going for this. You've got to push him down. You've got to get this kill. And he delivers, but does he have time? I'm just not sure. No, he doesn't. The game's done. There's no kits inbound, and xantares losing in the most heartbreaking of ways.
Oh, that just is such a bad feeling for poor Queenix, man. There's nothing that you could... There for Astralis has a beautiful clutch to come on through. Mr. opening up proceedings, creating so much chaos. I mean, honestly, they had a lot going for them in that round. They also let a lot slip, but nonetheless, an excellent showing for the opening here in playoffs of Central Europe for Astralis.
I mean, look, you said it yourself. There's no